since I sat down here and we spoke like this on my camera, let alone my phone. Alas, we're here under dire circumstances, which are what? If you live under a rock and you aren't in the book talk, book threads, book Twitter, bookstagram, booktube space, I'm gonna fill you in. We had 2 instances in the past, I want to say week, with 2 huge, some of the biggest modern authors. Reid, who wrote Heat of a Rivalry, and Kuang, who wrote Yellowface, Babel, who I adored. The Reid one I'm going to go through first very quickly, because I feel like this one is easier to explain, almost, and people were almost more upset about this one. You'll see what I mean. So she has a Discord with readers, and in that Discord she said that she, and I've seen there are screenshots so no one can tell me otherwise, she actively said that she regrets making her character canonically autistic. Now, people were upset because she also, kind of in the same vein, called him stupid, which is not really the problem here. However, I do agree that, like, after saying something like that, adding that on top is just the cherry. I also had a comment this morning saying that she has an autistic son, so that makes her disabled. Have we lost the fucking plot? Please. Come on. Please. My problem with this is, as a disabled person myself, if you cannot write a character that is disabled, just don't. Now, she didn't say why she regretted it. I believe she said something along the lines of she didn't feel like the character would ever get it actively diagnosed or something, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. However, it's ableist to say you regret making a character disabled regardless of your reasoning, because disabled people in the modern age require media representation that is positive in order to enforce equality and make people who are disabled or neurodivergent feel seen, heard, and accepted. It's one thing to think you are not equipped to write that kind of character. That's fine. Not everybody is going to know how to do that, right? However, if you do it and then say that you wish you didn't, that's a problem. A lot of people were very upset by this, because, as in upset that people were upset by it, because they were like, you fucking twisted her words. I'm literally verbatim reading them from her literal fucking text in this Discord. Verbatim. Like, genuinely, what do you want me to do? I'm reading them verbatim. And then they're like, oh, you misunderstood. No, I'm not misunderstanding anything. I don't hate her. I'm all for a heated rivalry. We love queer romances. Would I personally pick up a book as a disabled neurodivergent person of hers? No. I'm no longer comfortable to do that. I need to enforce the message that doesn't get through on Reels, because I had a viral video over this. This isn't a cancel this, cancel that witch hunt. It's a, hey, these authors, I'm uncomfortable now. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay that that makes me uncomfortable as a disabled person. And if you, as a disabled person, feel comfortable, happy for you. I feel like there's a possibility she misworded what she really meant and whatever. Again, it's not a thing of like cancel her, it's just like tone deaf. And there was an author who came out on Threads and wrote a very good paragraph. I can't remember who it was, I think it was an indie author. And there have been some indie shops, like indie bookshops, that have completely taken it down because they have very large neurodivergent and disabled audiences, and will no longer sell the books. But the indie author said something along the lines of, if you cannot canonically represent a character being disabled, you shouldn't be writing them in the first place. And it's very tiring as a disabled person to constantly have to go through a lack of representation, and then when we finally do get it, there's this regret or lack of education or knowledge or passion or anything behind the intent of writing that character. They worded it a lot better than that and said some other points that were really good that I can't remember, but yeah, I completely agree with that. Again, it's a personal decision whether you feel comfortable. I don't feel like it's a cause for cancellation. I just feel like it was a dumb thing to say, and hopefully she's learned her lesson. And you know, I'm not like adverse to her as a person by any means. I think we all say stupid shit, so that's where my opinion and morality on the situation stands. The next one is a lot more complicated, unfortunately, and for a lot of people even sadder. So R.F. Kuang is a huge author. She is known for being pro-Palestine. She is known for talking a lot about colonialism. Her books, whether you like them or not, are commentary on things like colonialism and things going on in the world, with perspectives from immigrants and people of colour. In a new book she has coming out called Taipei Story, the arcs were sent out. So this is where people got confused. They were like, it's not even out yet, how do you know? How can you say XYZ? I am someone in the industry, and if you are even on BookTok, you would know. People get arcs. This is an advanced reader copy. It means they get the full book for free to read in exchange for a review before the book comes out. Usually, sometimes even a year before the book comes out, sometimes it's just a few months. So the ARC readers got their copies. This is extreme common practice. Every single book pretty much goes through this process. And in a part of the book, this is from people who finished the book, read the book, so there's only a couple of pages where this is spoken about, but she decided to introduce, for no reason whatsoever, an Israeli character who was completely portrayed in a positive light. Now obviously people are like, what the fuck, because surely not. People are also confused why people are upset when it's just a character, and it's like, it's just an Israeli character. That doesn't mean they're, but Israel could not exist without genocide. It didn't exist until the 1940s. I had a great-grandma who died a couple years ago, who existed before that. She died at 105. It purely began to exist because of genocide. So it wasn't a Jewish person. Let's not get it twisted. This is no anti-Semitism. It wasn't a Jewish person. It was specifically an Israeli person. There are how many countries in the world that she could have chosen from? Now, obviously, people who didn't read the ARC, their first instinct, whether they were a fan of R.F. Kuang or not, thought, surely this is some sort of commentary, because she's known for her commentary and she's also known for being pro-Palestine. Nope. Absolutely every single person who read the ARC has said, no, there was no commentary, there's no context. it was a really random excerpt that covered like 2 pages max, and the character is never seen again, and the entire extract involving them was positive and only positive. There was no sort of juxtaposition or contradiction messages in it. It was pure and simple positive. Now, people don't really understand, but things like this are called soft propaganda. And coming from someone like R.F. Kuang, people are extremely confused. I'm confused. You're confused? I'm confused. That's how I feel. And in general, this is not really linked. A lot of people just didn't like the book. People who have been long-term fans said this is her weakest book in general. So she's under a lot of fire in general. It got to the point where as soon as people found out about that, they were commenting on her Instagram, she turned off her comments. Then as she's doing press for the book, the people doing press with her, like bookstores or whatever, posted videos with her, and they turned off their comments after being bombarded with comments. And then on Goodreads there's this feature which I mentioned months ago. I completely love this new feature. If you receive an ARC, you can rate it before everyone else, but you have to say where you got it from. So did you get it from NetGalley? Did you get it from Otherwise? Did you get a physical copy from a publisher? Blah 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 blah. That means that these people can go ahead and review this before anyone else, actively. Goodreads turned that off for this singular book. And if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, you are no longer allowed to review the book at all. And they've taken down all existing reviews, which is literally breaking technically the law. So there's that as well. Everything that has happened since, unfortunately, comes across as an admission of guilt. And I do feel like she will likely have to release a statement, because she's also someone who does a lot of talks, and a lot of people turn up and then they do a lot of Q&As, and someone will ask her in person about this, and there's nothing she can do. So she's either going to have to respond to that in person or release a statement. Someone did say, and I saw this on Twitter, but I haven't looked into this myself. Someone said that actually it is commentary, because the context and history of the Israeli being a pianist and being in Taipei is accurate and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, but like, she writes fantasy. For the most part, this woman writes fantasy. Could you not have written something else? Like, literally anything else. Literally make it up. It's fiction. Please. I also don't think that one obscure story about an Israeli pianist in general, because I don't think the pianist story was like in the real story, I don't know what it is, was even in Taipei. So I don't think there's any relevancy there. And also there's such an obscurity to that it falls on deaf ears. And she is smart and clever and intelligent enough to know that that would be the case, which is why people are confused, because they're like, if this is commentary, why not make it a bit more obvious? Instead of being so positive, have the character's point of view be positive, but make the reader understand that this isn't a positive, something along those lines. And so then it kind of turned into a whole thing of like, readers are stupid. You wanted her to be smart and intelligent, and now she's doing it and it's going over your head. And it's like, literally nothing about soft propaganda is intelligent. Literally nothing. So, people are obviously very upset with RF Kuang, and for the most part, the consensus that I actually get is not a case of, again, let's cancel her. It's genuine confusion, which is almost why we want a statement, because it's not like we want you to apologize, we want you to understand. Are we missing something? What are we missing? In today's world, as someone who has come off across as very intelligent when it comes to the Palestine situation, she wrote something that was tone deaf in the current state of the world. And that's not an intelligent thing in and of itself. So if you're going to do something intelligent, do it intelligently. And also, like, just make the character Jewish. Why did they have to be Israeli? We are not anti-Semitic. We don't hate all Jews, right? It's Israel as a place, as an origin, did not exist 100 years ago. So it's purposeful. That decision to write that was purposeful, which is why people are very upset. There is no way in her right mind that she could have gone randomly, oh, let's just make them Israeli, because she has been so outspoken on the situation. So again, the conclusion, as always, in the past 10 minutes that I've explained this, leads back to just pure fucking confusion. I said, like, I had a viral post about this, and like, I was under shit more for Rachel Reid than the Israeli stuff. However, I have Palestinian friends who posted about RF Kuang who were getting shit on. And my thing here, right, is that if disabled people are telling you that they're upset about what Rachel Reid said, and if Palestinians are telling you that they're upset regardless of fucking commentary, regardless of misunderstandings, what RF Kuang said, we should listen to the people that this will affect in turn. Because whether you feel like it's a misunderstanding, some people are going to take what Rachel Reid said as fuck disabled people. And I'm not saying that that's what she's saying, but there are people who will take it like that. And then in turn, because we really underestimate how much these people have influence and power, and how many youthful people follow them, how that will affect their viewpoints on disabled people. Same thing with RF Kuang. People who are impressionable who are fans of her would have been very pro-Palestine and blah blah blah. And now there's a confusion and there's questions, and you know, we've done all the research that we can, and there's still seemingly no context for why she's done this. And again, all of this has caused is Palestinian people coming out saying, this has really upset me and I don't feel comfortable with this comment. Again, not being like, cancel the bitch. And it's caused hatred towards Palestinians for them raising their concerns. So that, you can't tell me it doesn't cause that, because it has. I've seen it. Palestinians have been on the end of it. I can literally direct you to links and to people that it's fucking affected. Ultimately, if someone says to you, I'm part of this minority group that has been affected, you can't tell me how to feel, you shut the fuck up at that point. So that's where I stand with those two. I'm interested to see how both progress. Honestly, I kind of find the Rachel Reid one kind of funny. Someone like commented on my post like, blocked, and I can't see who it is because they blocked me. So I'm like, okay. What was the point in that? And then so many Israeli supporters coming out of woodworks like woodlouse, like cockroaches. Not for me, queens. Y'all stay far, far, far away. At the end of the day, I'm always going to listen to the Palestinian people. If they do not like something that's been said, they are the ones affected by it. So I'm going to listen to them. If disabled people are telling you they're upset by something, whether it's a portion or the entirety of disabled people on the planet, we should say something for them, stand up for them, even though I'm one of them, and listen to them. That's as simple as it is for me. Before, again, anyone else gets upset. I'm not saying burn them at the fucking stake. Chill out. Chill out. It's just a case of these authors, need to use this a little bit more. And editors, come the fuck on. This is after the Mia Ballard situation, which drives me nuts. You guys need to step up. It's your literal job. It's your literal job and you're failing. Hi, baby. Toochies, do you want a kiss? Oh, Nico came to say hello. Oh, cheese. Ooh. Hello. Hello. Okay, I think that's my calling to leave. He wants attention. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. And if you disagree with me, fuck off. Bye. Love ya.